Good morning, members, and welcome to the 21st day of the session, 68th Wyoming Legislative Budget Session, March 6th, 2026. Members, please make your way into the chamber, and the good chief clerk will please take the roll.
Alamand, Andrew, Angelos, Banks, Bear, Brady, Bratton, Brown Gary, Brown Landon, Byron, Campbell Lisa, Campbell Kevin, Chestick, Clouston, Connolly, Davis, Erickson, Filer, Fornstrom, Geringer, Guggenmoss, Haraldson, Harshman, Heiner, Heft, Jarvis, Johnson, Kelly, excused, Knapp, Larson Lloyd, Larson JT, Lawley, Lean, Locke, Lucas, McCann, Nicholas, Ottman, Pendergraft, Posey, Provenza, Riggins, Rodriguez Williams, Schmid, Sherwood, Singh, Smith, Storer, Strock, Stivar, Tarver, Thayer, Washa, Wasserberger, Webb, Weber, Wharf, Williams, Winter, Wiley, Yin, Mr. Speaker.
Here. Okay, members, next we have prayer this morning, and it will be led by Pastor Timmy Miller of Faith Baptist Church right here in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Members and guests, please rise.
Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, as we bow before you this morning on this Friday after a long session and many long hours of work put in on this floor, Father, this body has sought your face each day for direction and guidance, for wisdom, as they've passed bills and enacted laws. And God, as it's written in Psalm 90, Lord, thou hast been our dwelling place in all generations, and this chamber has been a dwelling place for this body now for several weeks. And so, God, we're asking today that you'll grant grace to finish this session, to finish it well. And Father, come Wednesday, the grace to lay down the gavel with clean hands and a steady heart, that the words of Proverbs 16:3 might echo in our souls, to commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. Father, we pray that the bills passed and laws shaped would reflect thy justice and thy mercy, and not ours alone. And Father, for those who would be traveling home this weekend and enjoying this break, God, I am, Father, with the weather and the snow especially, I just pray for safety on the road, God, and that you would protect in the travels. And that, God, I pray you'd bless this great state and its people to whom you've entrusted us. God, we pray that you'd let us go forth from this place on Wednesday and even this weekend, not in pride, but in humility, trusting that the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, as Psalm 37 reminds us. And now we pray your blessing in this session today. In Jesus' name we ask. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Miller. My fellow members and guests. Play ball. All right, members, if you would make your ways to your offices, and we will continue on with our day. Next, we have our journal committee report. Reading clerk. Wait a minute. Did we not close the roll? Oh, we didn't close the roll quite. Got all tangled up in visiting and Chief Clerk, please finish the roll.
Nicholas, Singh, Storer, 60 present, 2 excused.
Thank you, Chief Clerk. Representative Pendergraph, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Privilege of the floor.
You certainly may.
Folks, for 4 years, I've been forbidden to do this. And I finally decided it's easier to get forgiveness than permission. Up in the North Gallery is a grandmother to 11, a published author, a teacher of teachers, classic literature, and of Latin. She's the purveyor of Split Rock Lending Library, a private lending library for all sorts of people. She's been my best friend for 45 years. Please acknowledge my wife, Diane. I failed to mention one thing. Today is the 35th anniversary of her 29th birthday. Happy birthday.
We hope you will find it in your heart to forgive him for revealing that information. Oh, man. Oh, really? Okay, here we go. Get out the golden pipes and let's warm up the weapons here, ladies and gentlemen. Please stand up so you can get full air through your lungs. Diane, I'm going to apologize in advance for what you're about to endure. Happy birthday, Diane Pendergraph. Thank you for being here with us at the House. Now, what's that? Oh, Representative Lucas, please. And then we've got another representative filer. Representative Lucas.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I have a privilege
You
of the floor?
certainly may, ma'am. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members of the House. Today we welcome representatives from Moms for Liberty chapters across Wyoming. Moms for Liberty is a grassroots organization whose mission is to unify, educate, and empower parents to defend their parental rights at all levels of government. They're in the North Gallery, by the way. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you that. Across our state, much of their work takes place in local communities, supporting families, engaging with school districts and school boards, staying involved in education policy discussions. We appreciate their continued commitment to Wyoming families and are pleased to recognize and welcome them today. Join me. Thank you.
Thank you for being here and welcome to the House. And in all of the discussions that we hear regarding education and everything else, one of the things that we really struggle with is parental involvement. The lack of parents willing to engage in the process and wanting to kind of abdicate that responsibility. So we admire your efforts in this, and we are thankful for parents that are involved and work with educators to be able to do the job and do it well, with respect for the rights of the parents and also the educator's responsibility to try to bring education in a quality fashion. And that relationship many times is sorely lacking from the parental side. And so thank you for your efforts in that. And I would ask that you would continue to support that and to encourage others to work together with our educators to be able to do a quality job for the next generation. And as I look at those young ladies and young gentlemen right there playing tic-tac-toe on the glass, that's our future, ladies and gentlemen, and that's why this is important. So Moms for Liberty and parents and all, thank you. And we appreciate what you do, and please continue to keep up the good work. So, all right, Representative Filer, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Folks, I found this joke and then I had to kind of rewrite it. So hopefully it's better than the one I told a couple others earlier. But anyway, why do squirrels like legislators so much? Because we're a bunch of nuts.
Touche. Thank you, Representative. Oh, no, don't encourage him, ladies and gentlemen, really? I think they're asking for an encore, Representative Filer. Really? You got a second one in the live well there somewhere? Oh, yeah, you dig through that, find a good one, come back to us after a bit. All right. Next, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to ask that you all recognize our nurse of the day. Oh, we have escaped that 3 times in a row now. Reading clerk, will you please help me stay on the roll here and read our journal committee report?
Your journal committee reports to the Journal of March 5th, 2026 has been read and recommends that it be approved. Representatives Jarvis and Posey.
Thank you, reading clerk. Appreciate that. All right. We have the nurse of the day, which is Miss Jenny Ash. She will be with us and looking after our health needs here today, and we appreciate her taking time to be here with us. Do we have any messages from the Senate? We are none? Okay, we're good that way. Okay, next, ladies and gentlemen, we have the young lady that you have all been able to enjoy here helping us. Her bright smile and presence with us has been such a blessing. So if Miss Kiefer Forstrom would please come and address the body.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As a junior in high school, I'm often asked the question of what I'd like to do after I graduate. I often say that I would like to study political science or public policy and maybe pursue a law degree. But that question always leads to a bigger one. How will I make impact with those degrees? Over the past 4 weeks, I have been surrounded by people who show me what impact truly looks like. Each one of you makes a difference for your constituents, your colleagues, and your communities. The 2026 budget session has been one like no other. There has been controversy, many late nights, and plenty of hardships. Watching each of you work through it has been inspiring. Thank you for dedicating your time, energy, and conviction to this process. And to the LSO staff, thank you for being the steady hands and kind hearts behind the scenes. Miss Carol, thank you for the daily orange slices. Miss Patty, thank you for teaching me something new each day. Mr. Rick, thank you for being unapologetically yourself, funny, honest, and unforgettable. Miss Katie, thank you for providing me with this opportunity and being such a fire human. To my teachers, thank you for supporting me and encouraging me to take on an experience like this. Mr. Yelton, I know you really wanted me to work in a Ricky Bobby quote. I didn't know how to do that on the house floor. Mrs. Golding, thank you for always exposing me to new opportunities and for your constant support. I want to thank Marlo, a previous Senate page, for not only being a wonderful friend, but someone who always provides perspective and knowledge. Dad, this experience is one that I will carry with me for the rest of my life. Sharing it with you has been one of the greatest honors. And I'm so grateful for the man that you are. Mom, thank you for your wisdom and love. To the women who sit in the chairs before me, thank you for making space for the next generation of women to lead. You are brave, bold, and inspiring to watch. You'll all notice a sunflower on your desks. This past year, we lost an incredible representative, John Eklund. Over the past few months, I've been blessed to spend some time with his wife, Susie, a woman who stood beside him through campaigns, service, and community life. Sunflowers are her favorite, and I wanted to honor the Eklunds by sharing one with each of you as a reminder of their contribution to this house and to Wyoming. But the sunflowers carry another message I hope you will take with you as this session concludes. The past months have been transformative for me, and I have found myself repeating one phrase: look for the moments of sunshine. We live in a polarized world that can feel heavy at times, but when we look at the circles around us, especially in this building, we find people who bring laughter, perspective, and light. I encourage you to look for the sunshine in the small moments and the big ones. Thank you for serving this great state. Before this opportunity, I wasn't sure if I would end up in Wyoming, but now I know this is where I belong. Wyoming is where I will make my impact.
Thank you, Ms. Fornstrom. You have truly been a blessing to this house, and we have so enjoyed it. But I must say, one of the neatest parts of having Ms. Fornstrom on the floor has been to be able to watch the interaction between she and her dad. Often you'll see them visiting, they'll stop and they'll chat with each other and stuff. And it's so evident to see on Dad's face how proud he is of his daughter and all that she will accomplish. And so, in being able to, be somewhat involved in that part of the relationship and watching, a dad that got put into a position, I mean, nobody would want to pick this way of being able to enter the chamber, but having the ability to come and to work with your daughter and to watch that relationship and stuff, it has been a blessing. And so thank you, Representative Fornstrom, for raising such a wonderful daughter. You and your wife have done a wonderful job. Mrs. Fornstrom, they say the old saying is the apple doesn't usually fall far from the tree. So well done. And we really appreciate all that you've done in that young lady, and we look forward to all that she will do and the blessing that she will be not only to you, but to the state of Wyoming. So thank you for being here. Representative Washut.
Personal
Representative.
privilege, please.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Not sure which gallery in, but we've had some guests that came down from, I think Caspertown, #1 in your heart, the #1 on your license plate place, and the Verbis family. Are you up there yet? There they are up in our North Gallery, the Verbis family. Please rise and welcome them to the house.
Thank you for being here and welcome to the house. Thank you for taking time out of your day to come and share it with us. Representative Knapp, please, sir.
Mr. Speaker, privilege.
Absolutely, Representative. Please proceed.
I just wanted the opportunity to thank the body, thank LSO, thank our leadership for helping me through session. Got to find out where the medical room was in the building. And we often talk about our forefathers. Well, I had 4 mothers here. That made sure I was getting along every day. So I just want you to know how much I appreciate it, just the kindness of the body, and wanted to thank you. So.
I don't want to be telling tales out of school, but when we first started this session, Representative Knapp, I'm not doing this to embarrass him, but I'm doing this to tell all of you how much we appreciate what you've all done. It was a real struggle for him to get in and out because he stays with us over here at this house. But I can honestly tell you, because of your care and because of you guys' tailing him up and making sure he does what he's supposed to do and being mothered, he is getting in and out of vehicles. He is going upstairs. He's moving in and out of that house, and he is healthier now than when he came down here. So I just want to thank all of you for the admonition that you were given when we first started to help in any way that you could, our good Representative Knapp. Well, you've done it. And it has been a blessing for me also as your speaker to watch this chamber rally around their members and help them and improve them through this process. So good job, everyone. I get to watch it in real time, and now he's pretty much doing everything on his own. And he's not using his walker as much, and it's a blessing to see him because we want you to last a long time, Representative Knapp, and it's important to us that you're here for a long time. So thank you, everyone, for what you're doing and your care for one another. It's priceless, and it just reveals the true heart of this chamber, and we're very thankful for that. So, all right, we have some rolled acts, I understand, or no? Are we good? Okay. Yeah, and that's true. So we're going to have things kind of moving in and out.
Mr. Speaker,
Yes. Oh, Representative Ottman.
thank you. Privilege, please.
Absolutely.
Okay, I just wanted to acknowledge two very special women in that gallery. I believe that's the north. One would be Christine Johnson, wife of our legislator here, Steve. Thank you for that. So I'm sure there's lots there. And then also our superintendent of public instruction, Megan Dagenfelder, and I believe maybe the family. I'm not sure. So if we could just rise for both of them.
Welcome to the House. Glad to have you. And Superintendent, thankful that you're here with us. Appreciate you taking time to look into the chamber. So, all right. We're going to do, on my list, we have staff recognition, but we're going to save that for this afternoon. So it's going to be on a little bit farther down the line. We'll leave that and then a request to concur. So we will get into that portion of the day.
Speaker. Sorry.
Representative Strzok, please.
Just quickly, I just got a text. So I thought I'd give a real quick update and then we'll be done with that. But
Please do.
the doctors just came in, Sam said, and they both girls get their blue lights shut off today. And they will take Sophie's tube, gets to come out today. So she's been able to hold Olivia some and do skin to skin. And so today she gets to do that with Sophie. And then my son should be down there. And he gets to do the skin on skin today with both girls too. So and she said, everything is looking good and they are behaving was her words. So anyway, so thank you.
Okay, we're just going to stand briefly here. We've got some other things coming in. So like I said, this is going to be real time. So we'll just kind of have to be in and out. So we appreciate your patience. Okay, we will go to that portion of the business of signing of enrolled acts. First enrolled act for our consideration is enrolled act number 29 of the House of Representatives. Reading clerk.
House Enrolled Act number 29 being original House Bill 126, an act relating to public health and safety, providing legislative findings, specifying requirements associated with the termination of pregnancies, prohibiting procedures that terminate the life of a child with a detectable heartbeat, specifying exceptions to the prohibition, specifying penalties, providing definitions, making conforming amendments, and providing for an effective date, being enacted by the legislature of the state of Wyoming.
I'm about to sign Enrolled Act number 29, having been original House Bill 126. I have so signed. Congratulations, Wyoming. Appreciate that, body. All right. Do we want to go right? Okay, hang fire for a little bit here, just while we do some organizing. Superintendent Degenfelder, here's your hat. What's your hurry? Where are you going? Okay. Thanks for stopping by. Just like that, we have generated about another half dozen enrolled acts. So just that quickly. All right, we are again at that order of business of signing of enrolled acts. Next enrolled act for consideration is Enrolled Act number 61 from the Senate.
Senate Enrolled Act number 61 being original Senate File 113, an act relating to elections, requiring the completion of a hand count by the county clerk of each county in 2026 primary and general elections, specifying requirements of a hand count, requiring reporting, and providing for an effective date, being enacted by the legislature of the state of Wyoming.
I'm about to sign Enrolled Act number 61, having been original Senate File 113. I have so signed. Next enrolled act for our consideration, number 62.
Senate Enrolled Act number 62 being original Senate File 84, an act relating to water within Wyoming's portion of the Colorado River Basin, establishing a voluntary water conservation program, providing an application and approval process for the program, providing an appeal process, authorizing the storage and release of water conserved under the program, establishing a sunset date, providing legislative findings, requiring a report, requiring rulemaking, authorizing positions, providing an appropriation, and providing for an effective date, being enacted by the legislature of the state of Wyoming.
I am about to sign Enrolled Act number 62, having been original Senate File 84. I have so signed. Next enrolled act, 63.
Senate Enrolled Act number 63 being original Senate File 99, an act relating to property, conveyances, and security transactions, providing legislative findings, providing definitions, providing an easement for electric transmission lines and distribution systems as specified, specifying applicability and providing for an effective date, being enacted by the legislature of the state of Wyoming.
I'm about to sign Enrolled Act number 63, having been original Senate File 99. I have so signed. Next enrolled act, 64.
Senate Enrolled Act number 64 being original Senate File 101, an act relating to the protection of constitutional rights, amending the Second Amendment Protection Act as specified, creating exceptions to the Second Amendment Protection Act, creating civil penalties, creating criminal penalties, creating an exception to the Wyoming Governmental Claims Act, providing definitions, making conforming amendments, and providing for an effective date, being enacted by the legislature of the state of Wyoming.
I'm about to sign Enrolled Act number 64, having been original Senate File 101. I have so signed. Next enrolled act, 65.
Senate Enrolled Act number 65, being original Senate File 121, an act relating to the Wyoming Pharmacy Act, amending provisions relating to the practice of pharmacy, providing definitions, requiring rulemaking, and providing for an effective dates, being enacted by the legislature of the state of Wyoming.
I'm about to sign Enrolled Act number 65, having been original Senate File 121. I have so signed. Next Enrolled Act for consideration, Enrolled Act number 66.
Senate Enrolled Act number 66, being original Senate File 28, an act relating to elections, clarifying the procedure for testing voting machines and electronic voting systems, specifying that tests shall be open to the public, specifying rulemaking authority, removing the presumption of proper preparation of voting machines, and providing for an effective date, being enacted by the legislature of the state of Wyoming.
I am about to sign Enrolled Act number 66, having been original Senate File 28. I have so signed. Okay, next we just got a message from the Senate. Reading clerk, please.
Message 303. Mr. Speaker, the Senate did concur on House amendments to the bill listed below by the vote indicated. Senate File 69, Waste and Stormwater Infrastructure Study. Ayes 28, noes 1, excused 2. Sincerely, Ellen Thompson, Senate Chief Clerk.
Thank you, reading clerk. All right, we're looking through a pile of stuff here, so we'll kind of wait for a moment and see how things progress. All right, we are at that order of business of request to concur with Senate amendments to House bills. First message for our consideration is message number 287. Representative Heiner.
Mr. Speaker, I move message number 287, which was the original House Bill number 43, and recommend concurrence. This is the anti-money laundering bill. What they did over there is just remove the conflict of interest clause, but everything else remains the same. They did clarify some banking industry language that we had in there, and also clarified that this doesn't apply to financial institutions that are already insured through the, okay, I can say it, FDIC, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, or the National Credit Union. So just conforming language and clarifying some of those things. Recommend an aye vote for concurrence.
Any discussion? Seeing none, members, we are voting on the motion to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 43. A majority of the elected members is required. The chief clerk will please call the roll.
Ellerman, Andrew, Angelos, Banks, Bear, Brady, Bratton, Brown Gary, Brown Landon, Byron, Campbell Elisa, Campbell Kevin, Chestick, Clauston, Connolly, Davis, Erickson, Filer, Bornstrom, Geringer, Guggenmoss, Haraldson, Harshman, Heiner, Heft, Jarvis, Johnson, Kelly, excused, Knapp, Larson Lloyd, Larson JT, Lawley, Lean, Locke, Lucas, McCann, Nicholas, Ottman, Pendergraft, Posey, Provenza, Riggins, Rodriguez-Williams, Schmid, Sherwood, Singh, Smith, Storer, Strock, Stivar, Tarver, Thayer, Washut, Wasserberger, Webb, Weber, Ward, Williams, Winter, Wiley, Yin, Mr. Speaker. Andrew, are there any changes? Are there any changes? Closing vote. Vote closed. 58 aye, 4 excused.
By your vote, you have voted to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 43. Next concurrence request for our consideration, number, get it out here. Message number 288 in regards to House Bill 80. Representative Rodriguez Williams, please, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move message number 288 on concurrence, original House Bill 80, identification cards, renewal for care facility residents. I will ask for your aye on this, and I'll turn the explanation over to the good bill sponsor.
No, it's
Oh, Representative Jarvis, please. I'm sorry. This, I mean, yes, Representative Jarvis.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The only amendment that was made to this was recommended by the agency that enacts it, and it was just to make it enactable. So we're asking for an aye.
Any further discussion on the concurrence request? Seeing none. Body, you are voting on a motion to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 80. A majority of the elected members is required. Chief Clerk will please call the roll.
Allemand, Andrew, Angelos, Banks, Bear, Brady, Bratton, Brown Gary, Brown Landon, Byron, Campbell Elisa, Campbell Kevin, Chestick, Clauston, Connolly, Davis, Erickson, Filer, Fornstrom, Geringer, Guggenmoss, Harrelson, Harshman, Heiner, Heft, Jarvis, Johnson, Kelly, excused, Knapp, Larson Lloyd, Larson JT, Lawley, Lean, Locke, Lucas, McCann, Nicholas, Ottman, Pendergraft, Posey, Provenza, Riggins, Rodriguez Williams, Schmid, Sherwood, Singh, Smith, Storer, Strock, Stivar, Tarver, Thayer, Washut, Wasserberger, Webb, Weber, Worf, Williams, Winter, Wiley, Yin. Mr. Speaker, are there any changes? Are there any changes? Closing vote. Vote closed. 59 aye, 3 excused.
By your vote, you have voted to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 80. Next message for our consideration, number 292, Representative Andrew. Please, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move message 292 to House Bill 102. And I'll turn over the explanation to the sponsor.
Representative Lean, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Senate, in their good nature, has found some cleanup amendments that were needed for this bill, just to help with the developer language so that we're not capturing people that provide our internet or our cable or our satellite to our house. And then they took out or should have known and inserted knowingly. And so I ask for your aye votes because it helped clean up the language of the bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Any discussion on the message to concur? Seeing no one, members, you are voting on a motion to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 102. A majority of the elected members is required. Chief Clerk will please call the roll.
Allemand. Repeat. Element. Andrew. Angelos. Banks. Bear. Brady. Bratton. Brown Gary. Brown Landon. Byron. Campbell Elisa. Campbell Kevin. Chestick. Clauston. Connolly. Davis. Erickson. Filer. Bornstrom. Geringer. Guggenmoss. Haroldson. Harshman. Heiner. Heft. Jarvis. Johnson. Kelly, excused. Knapp. Larson Lloyd. Larson JT. Lawley. Lean. Locke. Lucas. McCann. Nicholas. Ottman. Pendergraft. Posey. Provenza. Riggins. Rodriguez Williams. Schmid. Sherwood. Singh. Smith. Storer. Strock. Stivar. Tarver. Thayer. Washut. Wasserberger. Webb. Weber. Wharf. Williams. Winter. Wiley. Yin. Mr. Speaker, are there any changes? Provenza, aye. To no. Further changes? Further changes. Closing vote. Vote closed. 58 aye, 1 no, 3 excused.
By your vote, you have voted to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 102. Next concurrence for our consideration is message number 295. Representative Heiner, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move message number 295, which is the original House Bill number 120, Energy Product Reclassification and Sovereignty Act. Members, what the other body did is they did a few technical corrections, but mostly some improvements to the bill to speed up the process. This bill attempts to address a opportunity that time is of the essence. And so they removed the gold standard certification to get things to move a little bit faster, so we're not waiting on that. They also made it so in an industrial park, you don't have to pay the permit fees all over again that have already been paid. And also, they made a pre-permit opportunity if the director may, by rule, establish a pre-permitting process for any permit or license within an established industrial park. Try to get a jump on things. If this is already an industrial area, that they can get the permitting started earlier and hopefully get things moving quicker. So recommend an aye vote on concurrence for these changes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman. Any members would like to discuss the concurrence? No one? Okay, members, you are voting on the motion to concur with the Senate amendments to House Bill 120. A majority of the elected members is required. The Chief Clerk will please call the roll.
Allemand. Andrew. Angelos. Banks. Bear. Brady. Bratton. Brown Gary. Brown Landon. Excused Byron. Campbell Elisa. Campbell Kevin. Chestick. Clauston. Connolly. Davis. Erickson. Filer. Bornstrom. Geringer. Guggenmoss. Haroldson. Harshman. Heiner. Heft. Jarvis. Johnson. Kelly, excused. Knapp. Larson Lloyd. Larson JT. Lawley. Lean. Locke. Lucas. McCann. Nicholas. Ottman. Pendergraft. Posey. Provenza. Riggins. Rodriguez Williams. Schmid. Sherwood. Singh. Excused. Smith. Storer. Strock. Stivar. Tarver. Thayer. Washut. Wasserberger. Webb. Weber. Wharf. Williams. Winter. Wiley. Yin. Mr. Speaker, Brown, Landon? Are there any changes? Are there any changes? Closing vote. Vote closed. 60 aye, 2 excused.
By your vote, you have voted to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 120. All right. Next for consideration, message number 296, Representative Yin. Please proceed.
Mr. Speaker, I move message 296, concurrence on House Bill 145, and ask for your favorable consideration. So members, in the bill, we had the level 3 fast chargers that we would be charging all of these out-of-state drivers that we weren't really charging before. And then in the bill, we had a refund program because we have the registration fee that EV drivers in the state pay. So the idea would be to have a refund program that those in-state drivers could get a refund on the new out-of-state stuff that we're, new level 3 tax that we're charging. The body across the hall basically said this refund program is going to be too much work. I mean, I disagreed with them, but they thought it was more appropriate to remove the refund program and then reduce the registration fees. So your in-state drivers will just be paying a reduced registration fee, and then they'll be paying those taxes on the level 3s when they drive through the long areas of the state. And so with that, I would ask for your favorable I vote on concurrence for message 296. I think this is a fair compromise to switch the refund program for the reduction in the registration fee.
Good. All right. Any other members for discussion? Representative Andrew.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On and in support of concurrence, I think this will make the situation a lot better for our state's EV drivers. Thank you.
Any others? Good. All right, members, you're being asked to we are voting on the motion to concur, excuse me, with Senate amendments to House Bill 145. Majority of the collected members is required. Chief Clerk, please call the roll.
Allemand, Andrew, Angelos, Banks, Bear, Brady, Bratton, Brown Gary, Brown Landon, Byron, Campbell Elisa, Campbell Kevin, Chestick, Clouston, Connolly, Davis, Erickson, Filer, Bornstrom, Geringer, Guggenmoss, Haroldson, Harshman, Heiner, Heft, Jarvis, Johnson, Kelly, excused, Knapp, Larson Lloyd, Larson JT, Lawley, Lean, Locke, Lucas, McCann, Nicholas, Ottman, Pendergraft, Posey, Provenza, Riggins, Rodriguez-Williams, Schmid, Sherwood, Singh, excused, Smith, Storer, Strock, Stivar, Tarver, Thayer, Washut, Wasserberger, Webb, Weber, Wharf, Williams, Winter, Wiley, Yin. Mr. Speaker, are there any changes? Are there any changes? Bratton? Are there any changes? Closing vote. Vote closed. 60 aye, 2 excused.
By your vote, you have voted to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 145. All right, that clears up the concurrences for now. And so we have, wait a minute. That would be your 169, 78. I don't have anything yet. 178 is. Next, we are at that order of business of consideration of joint conference committee reports. The first report for our consideration is Joint Conference Committee Report number 245, on, let's see, this would be House Bill 69. Representative Larson Lloyd. There he is. He's coming. Coming down, taking a hard left. He's on base. He's on final. He has approached and lit. Representative Larson.
He got lame coming in the home stretch. Mr.
The race is on. Go ahead, George Jones. Help us out.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to move Joint Conference Committee number 1 to House Bill 69. Members, we had asked for your concurrence on this Joint Conference Committee. We went down and met with some language that the Senate put into the bill and had 2 concerns. One from the good representative from here in Cheyenne, wanting to make sure that we had a reporting process back, and the other from the good majority floor leader, where in their language, they required the Board of Land Commissioners to move forward on their amendment and felt that it ought to be permissive language to the Board of Land Commissioners rather than a shall. We brought that up in the Joint Conference Committee. The body across the hall agreed that that was appropriate and felt that the permissive language is probably more in line with the intent of our statutory requirements, and agreed to do reporting requirements back to the Transportation Committee when those properties are moved over to the Department of Transportation and others. So in essence, that's what it is, and happy to answer any questions and ask for your concurring vote.
All right, any discussion? Representative Stivar, please, sir.
Yes, please vote aye. This was a great conference committee.
All right, any others? Seeing none? All right, we are voting on the Joint Conference Committee Report number 245 in regards to House Bill 69. A majority of the elected members is required to adopt the report. Chief Clerk, will please call the roll.
Allemand, Andrew, Angelos, Banks, Bear, Brady, Bratton, Brown Gary, Brown Landon, Byron, Campbell Elisa, Campbell Kevin, Chestick,
You're going to need to be inside the bar to make that vote, sir. Thank you, sir. He's right there. Representative Brown, you need to be inside the bar.
Klauston, Connolly, Davis, Erickson, Filer, Fornstrom, Geringer, Guggenmoss, Haroldson, Harshman, Heiner, Heft, Jarvis, Johnson, Kelly, excused, Knapp.
Aye.
Larson Lloyd, Larson JT, Lawley, Lean, Locke, Lucas, McCann, Nicholas, Ottman, Pendergraft, Posey, Provenza, Riggins, Rodriguez Williams, Schmid,
Absent.
Sherwood, Singh, excused, Smith, Storer, Strock, Stivar, Tarver, Thayer, Washut, Wasserberger, Webb, Weber, Wharf, Williams, Winter, Wiley, Yin. Mr. Speaker,
Aye.
are there any changes? Brady, aye to no. Brown, Gary, aye to no. Locke, aye to no. Weber, aye to no. Allemand, aye to no. Johnson, aye to no. Further changes? Further changes? Closing vote. Vote closed. 50 aye, 9 no, 2 excused, 1 absent.
By your vote, you have adopted Joint Conference Committee Report number 245 in regards to House Bill 69. All right, we're going to jump back here onto some concurrence requests here. We can go to concurrence request message number 297 in regards to House Bill 178. Representative Byron, please, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move message number 297 to House Bill 178 and ask for an aye vote. And with the explanation, I'll hand it over to the bill sponsor.
Representative Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You remember our friend 178?
Vaguely.
The Senate amendment removed the reporting requirements from this bill to where union did not have to report to their members or to the state on what their activities were, what their membership was. Our partners down the hall also changed the effective date from July 26th to January 27th. The core of the bill remains the same. Workers maintain their right to join unions and pay dues and engage in union activities, but the state will no longer be involved in these transactions. I encourage your aye vote on concurrence.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Brown, discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to go grab my good buddy over there from a couple counties north of me and give him a big hug and tell him I appreciate all the work that he's done on this. But what he forgot to mention was the one big penalty change in this, ladies and gentlemen. We're now going to make these employees criminals if they do this. They inserted a misdemeanor crime. So I'm going to ask for a no vote. And maybe we can take that out and make, you can only polish well, we won't say that. You can only put
a bowling ball, is that what you were
pig.
saying? Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, you can only put lipstick on a pig so many times, and it's still pig. This ain't a good looking pig either. So I say vote no. Let's go see if we can make this somewhat of an attractive pig. Bring it back here and do a joint conference committee.
Any other discussion on the request? Representative Provenza.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm also going to ask for no on concurrence. Nothing says government, nothing really reduces government overreach much more than just more government overreach, which is exactly what we're doing, particularly by adding the criminal component. This is an attack on the freedom of choice for our public employees to make decisions about how their paychecks are deducted. If it wasn't, why are we not removing 501c3s from this? The very organization that brought this bill can still get deductions from paychecks. This is an attempt to take away the freedom of the hardworking people of Wyoming for a special interest group. Vote no on concurrence.
Any other discussion? Representative Yin.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. The way I'm trying to read in the misdemeanor into the bill. So if you look at the bill, the violation of that one section 116 could be a lot of entities. So it could be like a public employer or a school system. So if a school system does this deduction to the school organization that represents educators, is the school system committing a misdemeanor? Help me understand how that's going to work.
Representative Andrew.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On and for concurrence, I think this bill maintains full freedom to join any of these organizations that anybody wants to. It's just that they have to do so on their own and not have it handled through their employer, which just removes a lot of the effects where someone might feel coerced or compelled to join one of these organizations. Thank you.
Any other members, discussion on the concurrence request? Second time on the request, Representative Brown, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On second thought, still vote no, but let's not even have a conference committee. Let's just put this pig to slaughter.
Anyone else like another shot at the apple here? I've got room for Yin, Provenza, and Andrew. Seeing none, back to the bringer. Representative Williams, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for that. Those are easy to make, mistakes to make, and I'm happy to correct those. I'll correct the most recent mistake first, the government overreach claim. And this bill is doing is asking the government to not be involved. And then we heard about penalty. And if you remember correctly, that was on page 5, line 17 of our original bill. And the language was unclear in this regard. It said, any person who violates this section shall be guilty of a misdemeanor. And that's where it ended. And so then this amendment that the Senate put in clarifies what misdemeanor would apply in existing statute. I encourage your aye vote on concurrence. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
All right, body, you are voting to concur or not to concur with Senate amendments to message number 297, House Bill 178. Chief Clerk will please take the roll.
Ellement, Andrew, Angelos, Banks, Bear, Brady, Bratton, Brown Gary, Brown Landon, Byron, Campbell Elisa, Campbell Kevin, Chestick, Plouston, Connolly, Davis, Erickson, Filer, Bornstrom, Geringer, Guggenmoss, Haroldson, Harshman, Heiner, Heft, Jarvis, Johnson, Kelly, excused, Knapp, Larson Lloyd, Larson JT, Lawley, Lean, Locke, Lucas, McCann, Nicholas, Ottman, Pendergraft, Posey, Provenza, Riggins, Rodriguez Williams, Schmid, Sherwood, Singh, excused, Smith, Storer,
Seriously?
Strock, Stivar, Tarver, Thayer, Washut, Wasserberger, Webb, Weber, Wharf, Williams, Winter, Wiley, Yin. Mr. Speaker, are there any changes? Are there any changes? Knapp? Are there any changes? Closing vote? Vote closed. 44 aye, 16 no, 2 excused.
By your vote, you have adopted the Joint Conference Committee Report number 297 to House Bill 178. Okay. Next Joint Conference Committee report we have is number 284 in regards to House Bill 16. Representative Knapp. Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. I would move message number 284 to House Bill 16, the Secretary of State expedited filings. Ladies and gentlemen, if you recall, this is for special expedited filings within the business portion of our state. He requested a position which was taken out, but we do have 2 positions that were granted in budget. So I would recommend concurrence on this report.
All right, Melody, you are voting on the motion to concur with message number 284 regarding House Bill 16. Any discussion? Question being called. Members, we are voting on Joint Conference Committee report number. Let's see. No, this is concurrence. Yeah, we are voting on a motion to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 16. Majority of the elected members are required that the Chief Clerk please call the roll.
Ellement, Andrew, Angelos, Banks, Bear, Brady, Bratton, Brown Gary, Brown Landon, Byron, Campbell Elisa, Campbell Kevin, Chestick, Clouston, Connolly, Davis, Erickson, Filer, Bornstrom, Geringer, Guggenmoss, Haroldson, Harshman, Heiner, Heft, Jarvis, Johnson, Kelly, excused, Knapp, Larson Lloyd, Larson JT, Lawley, Lean, Locke, Lucas, McCann, Nicholas, Ottman, Pendergraft, Posey, Provenza, Riggins, Rodriguez Williams, Schmid, Sherwood, Singh, excused, Smith, Storer, Strock, Stivar, Tarver, Thayer, Washa, Wasserberger, Webb, Weber, Worf, Williams, Winter, Wiley, Yin. Mr. Speaker, are there any changes? Are there any changes? Closing vote. Vote closed. 60 aye, 2 excused.
By your vote, you have voted to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill House Bill 16. Right. Next concurrence request for our consideration, number 294, Representative Knapp again. Please, sir, Chairman. This is in regards to House Bill 92.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. I would move message number 294 to House Bill 92, sexual predators prohibited from public office. I did speak with the sponsor of the bill, and ironically enough, this was language that she had intended to have in the bill in the first place. So this language makes the bill more better. Please vote aye.
Any discussion? Representative Lucas, you have something? Okay. Body, any other discussion? All right, members, we are voting on the motion to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 92. A majority of the elected members is required. Chief Clerk will please call the roll. Excuse me, Assistant Chief Clerk will call the roll.
Alamand, Andrew, Angelos, Banks, Bear, Brady, Bratton, Brown Gary, Brown Landon, Byron, Campbell Elisa, Campbell Kevin, Chestick, Clouston, Connolly, Davis, Erickson, Filer, Bornstrom, Geringer, Guggenmoss, Haroldson, Harshman, Heiner, Heft, Jarvis, Johnson, Kelly, excused, Knapp, Larson Lloyd, Larson JT, Lawley, Lean, Locke, Lucas, McCann, Nicholas, Ottman, Pendergraft, Posey, Provenza, Riggins, Rodriguez Williams, Schmid, Sherwood, Singh, excused, Smith, Storer, Strock, Stivar, Tarver, Thayer, Washit, Wasserberger, Webb, Weber, Worf, Williams, Winter, Wiley, Yin. Mr. Speaker, are there any changes? Are there any changes? Closing vote. Vote closed. 60 aye, 2 excused.
Thank you, Assistant Clerk. By your members, by your vote, you have voted to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 92. Next amendment, concurrence request for our consideration is 285. Representative Washit, please, sir. This is in regards to House Bill 39.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move message 285 to concur with Senate actions on House Bill 39 and ask for your favorable consideration. So members, what they did down the hall was they tweaked the language with regards to the other rights, voting, serving on a jury, those sorts of things, which were not central to the bill. They added one little sentence at the end to make it clear that if the state where the conviction occurred has restored all of their rights, their firearms rights, voting rights, jury rights, that we will respect those as well in Wyoming. But the central issue of the bill, the restoration of firearms rights, was untouched, and I urge an aye vote.
Thank you, Chairman. Any members discussion on the concurrence? Seeing no one. Members, you're voting on a motion to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 39. Majority of the elected members is required. Chief Clerk, now please call the roll.
Ellerman, Andrew, Angelos, Banks, Bear, Brady, Bratton, Brown Gary, Brown Landon, Byron, Campbell Elisa, Campbell Kevin, Chestick, Plouston, Connolly, Davis, Erickson, Filer, Bornstrom, Geringer, Guggenmoss, Haroldson, Harshman, Heiner, Heft, Jarvis, Johnson, Kelly, excused, Knapp, Larson Lloyd, Larson JT, Lawley, Lean, Locke, Lucas, McCann, Nicholas, Ottman, Pendergraft, Posey, Provenza, Riggins, Rodriguez-Williams, Schmid, Sherwood, Singh, excused, Smith, Storer, Strock, Stivar, Tarver, Thayer, Washut, Wasserberger, Webb, Weber, Worf, Williams, Winter, Wiley, Yin. Mr. Speaker, are there any changes? Are there any changes? Closing vote. Vote closed. 60 aye, 2 excused.
By your vote, you have voted to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 39. All right, we're going to take a brief recess here. Our Appropriations Committee needs some time to kind of gather their thoughts, so we're going to kind of hang fire here for a little bit. And Representative Banks, you are just, I have not been able to get my eyes off you today, and I would just think it would probably maybe be wise for you to have some Mary Kay catalogs with you as you travel through the facility, because I'm going to guess there's going to be some folks who'd like to see the lineup of products that you're offering. And so it would maybe be a wise and prudent move. So, all right, you got business going for the Cadillac. He's got the suit going for the Cadillac. All right, well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a 15-minute recess or stand at ease, and then we'll be back in to allow our appropriations team to get their ducks in a row so that we can go into some veto overrides, ladies and gentlemen, in regards to the budget. So, we'll be
Mr.
back.
Speaker,
Yes, Representative Williams.
would there be time for a short privilege?
Absolutely, sir.
How about a long one, sir?
Short one, please, 15 minutes. How long do you need, Representative Williams?
That'll cover it.
Okay,
Thank
go
you.
ahead.
There was an old cowboy named Sonny Hancock that told me this story 20 years ago. I'd like to share it with you. I traded for a horse one time. He wouldn't take no beauty prize. A great big long-eared blue roan gelding, not too bad for weight or size. I had to make some tough old circles, and this trader guaranteed this horse would show me lots of country and not need too much feed. He said, now, this here ain't no kid's horse, but he'll pack you up the crick. He will hump up on some occasions, and he has been known to kick. I wouldn't trade him to just anyone without having some remorse. But if you're a sure enough cowboy, mister, he's your kind of horse. I stepped on that horse next morning. He began to buck and bawl. That trader maybe hadn't lied none, but he hadn't told it all, because we sure tore up the country when he throwed his equine fit. And I almost ran out of handholds by the time he finally quit. I guess that must have set the pattern. Things just never seemed to change, although I showed him lots of country, every corner of the range. But every time I'd ride that bugger, why, he'd kept me sitting tight. I knew I'd have to make at least 3 bronc rides before he packed me home at night. Which would have been okay with lots of horses that I knowed, but that old pony had my number and I just barely get him rode. The thing that really spooked me, put a damper on my pride, was he was learning how to buck faster than I was learning how to ride. I pulled into camp one evening. It was getting pretty late. I see this gray horse in the corral there in a saddle by the gate. I looked that gray horse over. I sure liked what I seen. Then this kid showed up around the barn. He must have been around 16. Said he'd lamed that gray that morning coming down off Granite Grade. And he wondered if I had a horse, I'd maybe like to trade. He said he didn't have time to stop and rest and let him heal. And since beggars can't be choosers, he'd make most any kind of deal. Now, when a feller's trading horses, why, most anything is fair. So I traded him that blue roan for his gray horse then and there. But then my conscience started hurting when I thought of what I did to trade a fly-blown dink like that off to some little wet-nosed kid. So next morning after breakfast, why, I tell him, listen, lad, if you want to know the truth, that trade you made last night was bad. That old blue horse is a tough one, bad as anyone you'll see. He'll kick you, strike you, stampede. He's as sorry as can be. It's all I can do to ride him, and I'll tell it to you straight. I think you'll be awful lucky just to ride him past the gate. There's 2 or 3 old horses out there in the saddle bunch. They ain't got much going for them, but I kind of got a hunch that they'll probably get you where you're going if you just don't crowd them none. But darn it, I hate to see you ride that blue roan bugger, son. He said, I told you there last night I'd make most any kind of trade, and I appreciate you telling what a bad mistake I made. But my old daddy told me when you're trading that no matter how you feel, even if you take a whipping, that a horse's deal is still a deal. That horse, you say, has lots of travel, and he's not too bad for speed. Well, sir, I'm kind of in a tight spot. That's exactly what I need. I traded for him fair and square, and darn his blue roan hide. When I pull out of here this morning, that's a horse I'm going to ride. I watched him cinching up his saddle, and he pulled his hat way down, stepped right up in the rigging like he's heading straight for town. Stuck both spurs up in his shoulders, got the blue roan hair a-flying, tipped his head back, straight back, and screamed just like a hungry mountain lion. You know, I've heard a lot of stories about the bucking horse ballet. I've heard of poetry in motion, but the ride I saw that day just plumb defied description. Though I can still see it plain, like it had happened in slow motion and was branded on my brain. I don't suppose I could explain it to you, even if I tried. The only thing I can say is, by the saints, that kid could ride. He just sat there plumb relaxed, like he was laying home in bed. Every jump that pony made, the kid's half a jump ahead. When it was over, I decided I could learn a few things still, and I said, son, I'm awfully sorry. I misjudged your riding skill. He said, shucks, that's okay, mister, as he started on his way. But if you think this horse can buck, don't put your saddle on that gray.
So that young man got the better deal out of that, huh? All right. Well, we'll just kind of hang fire here a little bit for a few moments and let our approach there in the conference room upstairs, getting things ready to go. So if anybody else has a privilege or anything, this would be a great time to do it. Otherwise, stand up, stretch your legs, and we'll be back at you here in probably about another 10 minutes. So don't go far. I don't want to have to do anything to try to draw you back here. So see you in a moment. not mine. Okay, members, we're going to be a little bit because we are waiting on our counterparts to the west. I can see the doors are all open. I don't see a tremendous amount of activity down there, but they are moving, I think. But we have to wait for them because bear in mind, ladies and gentlemen, the veto overrides or what we're going to do with the budget begins in the Senate. And so we have to know what their decisions are and then what we're still going to have available to be able to override or not coming this way. So they've got to make their move first. Our Appropriations Committee is up there in the conference room right now getting ready and going over things that they perceive are going to be ready to go. So in the interim, we're going to break now, eat some lunch, and then kind of let things kind of settle. And then when we know we're farther and closer to the process coming to fruition, we will get back in here. So, Mr. Majority Floor Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the House stand in recess until 1 p.m.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, no? That figures. That motion has been adopted. We'll be back here at 1 p.m.